Fire and EMS training update. Today's topic is a review of two policies, social media use and family medical leave. I'm your host, the Emergency Division Training Officer for Charlotte County Fire and EMS, Joseph Harris. With regard to both policies we discussed today, please understand that the following is true for both. First, these policies apply to all Charlotte County employees affiliated with the Charlotte County Fire Department. This means accountability for those above and below you. Also, chief officers and company officers shall have the joint responsibility to ensure all personnel are in compliance with this order. The following information has been gathered based on complaints, comments, and concerns brought forth by many of our department members. I hope this message clears up any confusion. So let's begin with social media. Employee use of internet search engines, chat rooms, social networking sites, blogs, and other online forums and gathering sites have become fertile ground for many work-related benefits and pitfalls. The internet provides access to information regarding applicants and employees that was not previously readily available. The temptation can be great to use this information for many purposes across the agency. However, the type of information gathered and the implication of its use, both intentional and unintentional, can create legal issues if not properly administered and controlled. Our social media policy addresses the proper use of social media as it relates to the recruitment process and employee relations. 1. The employer may use websites such as Monster, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook to support recruitment efforts. However, the recruitment announcement posted on these websites should refer the applicant to our fire department's established job listing to ensure consistency and equity throughout the recruitment process. Selection processes will not occur through social media. And 2, for you, the individual employee, avoid identifying yourself as an employee of the organization or identifying a patient as outlined in EMTALA or HIPAA. Do not make insubordinate, disrespectful, or inappropriate statements while using social media technologies. This also means that your social media statements cannot negatively impact the fire department's mission or our community. Now let's discuss family medical leave. Per the state guidelines, the term family means child, parent, or spouse, and the term family medical leave means leave requested by an employee for a serious family illness like an accident, disease, severe condition that poses imminent danger of health, or any mental or physical condition that requires constant in-home care. Additional criteria are required for you, the employee, to be considered a beneficiary of this type of leave. You must have been an employee with the fire department for at least 1 year and worked at least 1,250 hours during that year. The policy also addresses requested leave for domestic abuse. If you meet the criteria listed above, you will be granted leave without pay, provided that you A. provide your immediate supervisor within at least 30 days prior to your leave if you have advance notice, or B. you promptly notify your immediate supervisor within 2 working shifts if advance notice isn't possible. Remember that your employee can and should request appropriate documentation such as birth certificates, military orders, and medical certifications. Whew, that's a lot of information to discuss. As always, remember that any personal device used to create any media that becomes evidence in an investigation will be seized, meaning all content found on your device will become public record. All of this can be used to establish a breach of the aforementioned policies and will render you subject to discipline as outlined in the Charlotte County policies and procedures. While I understand the reproach of that statement, I remind you that these policies are, first and foremost, for the benefit and protection of you, the employee. These create a line in the sand, as it were, as to what is and isn't acceptable from employee and employer. The perceptions surrounding discipline in the fire service have become exponentially worse due to misguided means in the past, and the two policies discussed today are a means to correct that misdirection. It also creates a hostile attitude towards investigations and discipline as quote-unquote witch hunts. Unfortunately, this has led to the idea that formal and informal investigations are negative and to be avoided. In fact, the opposite is true. Investigations are your proof that nothing is wrong and nothing was committed. Only when we see investigations as our absolution, rather than our condemnation, can we begin to address our organization as the group of professionals that I know you to be. We as individuals need to empower one another to hold ourselves, including management, accountable to the professional standards we set for ourselves that are outlined in our union contracts, policies, laws, and Constitution. Thank you for your time today, and stay safe.